You are welcome to GMAETS41 Basic Class channel. It is good to meet you once again this evening. In this class, I'll be teaching you formulae and substitution. Formulae and substitution. Okay? And just say formula and substitution. In this class, you're going to learn what a mathematical formula is and what we mean when we say that somebody should do substitution. This topic is a very important topic in maths and science, just like other topics you had learned before. You remember that in our previous class, we concluded simple equations. And so it becomes necessary for us to learn formulae and substitution. So on the board here, you have this short note that explains what a formula is and what we mean by substitution. Like I said, this topic is very important in mathematics and in science, because once you start calculating, what you do there is to substitute into formula. So let us start first by getting to know what a formula is. A formula is a mathematical rule or statement expressed in symbols. A mathematical rule or statement expressed in what? Symbols. Now we have some examples here. I have A equal to 1 over 2 BH. This A represents area, and it is equal to 1 over 2, this number, that constant there, times B. The B there represents base, times H. The H there represents height. Some of you, if not all of you, may have met this formula before. That is the formula for calculating area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is equal to 1 over 2 times the base times the height. So you see that this A equal to half base times height becomes a rule, a statement, a mathematical rule, a mathematical statement. A rule is something that guides you. And when I make a statement, you listen to that statement. The statement can be something that would guide you. It's possible. Now you see that we used symbols to represent the formula. And that gives us the definition of what a formula is. Simply a mathematical rule or statement expressed in what? In symbols. We have this one, P equal to 2 pi r. P equal to 2 pi r. Once again, it is possible that either all of you or some of you may have seen this formula before. P equal to 2 pi r. This is the perimeter of a circle, also called the circumference of a circle. Perimeter of a circle, also called what? Circumference of a circle. So this P represents perimeter. Sometimes you can use C as a symbol to represent circumference, equal to 2 times pi times radius. That R there represents radius. I also have another example here. A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. Or we read it as A raised to power 2 plus B raised to power 2 equal to C raised to power 2. When you are studying triangle, you meet that formula, especially right angle triangle. Especially what? Right angle triangle. This is Pythagoras theorem or Pythagoras rule. So we can use it as a mathematical formula. All right, there are many more. There are many more. I believe I've been able to help you, to assist you understand what a formula is. Remember, simply a mathematical rule. We use symbols to represent that mathematical rule. Sometimes in the rule, you could have number, just like you have here, okay, numbers. All right, let us move on to substitution. What is the meaning of substitution in mathematics? Substitution simply means to replace. Substitution simply means to replace. Now, for example, if I have this formula, A equal to half times base times height, half base times height. And I tell you that B equals 2. That is to say that B is equal to 2, while H is equal to 5. Now we can do what we call substitution into this formula, which means to replace. To replace. I already told you that B is equal to 2. So one can come to this formula. Wherever you see B, you replace it with 2. That is substitution. Watch, let me do it here. Towards the end of this ending part, I could say, therefore, to continue what I had written, therefore, A equals 1 over 2. When you have a number in the formula, you don't touch it. Just write that number exactly the way you see it. It is the symbols, the alphabets that you substitute for, that you replace. So A equal to 1 over 2. This A, we were not given the value of A. We were not told the number representing A. We were only told the number representing B, which is 2, and the number representing H, which is 5. So I'll simply come to this equation, or this formula. A is equal to 1 over 2 times B times B. And what is our B? B is 2. So I am going to replace this B with 2. After that, you have times H. That H is 5. I will replace that H with 5. What I have done here is called substitution. What I have done here is called what? Substitution. Just to replace. Replace. So I replaced B with the value 2. And I replaced H with the value 5. Now you can see 1 over 2 times B. B is 2. 1 over 2B. There is no plus. There is no minus. There is no divide between this half, B and H. Therefore, what we have there is times, multiplication. I already told you that under simple equation. Anyway, what I want you to learn here is substitution. What I did here, replacing B with 2 and replacing H with 5 is called substitution. Like I said, in mathematics and science, we do not play with substitution at all. We don't play. So make sure you take this seriously at basic level of learning, which this channel is specially dedicated to. Start learning this idea of formula and substitution. For those in higher class, in senior secondary, in university, they can also benefit from this. They can also what? Benefit from this. So this is what we mean by a formula and substitution. I believe you have known the meaning of these two very important words or terms as used in mathematics and science. Now we are going to pick questions and solve to learn how we do substitution. Listen, let me show you something from here. I can solve this. Good enough. I've taught you simple equation. I've taught you addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division of numbers under basic arithmetics. So simplifying this, solving this to get the final answer is very simple. And that is what you will be expected to do when you are given a question in substitution. Because if you replace those values, you don't just leave it like that. You are expected to simplify and get the final result, the final answer. Like here, these two will divide these two. They will go off. 2 divide 2 will give you 1. Then I have 1 times 5. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. So here, our A is equal to 5. But don't worry. We are going to pick questions and solve now. I've taken my time to explain what formula is and what substitution means. Get ready for our very first question, example 1. Finish up what you have on the board. You're welcome to the class, dear friends. You're welcome. Quotes, good evening. Jimmy, McHenry, good evening. You're welcome. Thank you for joining the class. All right. So we are going to wipe the board. We're going to wipe the board and then we pick questions, examples to solve. I'm trying to boost this device so that I can track what is happening at your end, but it seems like network is disturbing on this device. Okay, so sometimes I'll have to go back to check from the camera what is happening at your end, okay? Let's see. All right, like I said, we are going to pick our very first question. Let us see what we have. I guess I can wipe this part of the board. I think I can wipe it so that we look at the next thing. Like I said, please, dear friends, this topic is very important. It's very, very important. You want to make sure you understand the idea of formula and substitution. In your higher class, you're going to be seeing them a lot. I don't want you to reach that higher class if you're in basic class now. I don't want you to reach your senior class or university level and you're still having challenges with substitution. That would not be good. Example 1. Example 1. So what we have here, I've got this question. Given that P equals 2 bracket L plus B. If L equals 3 and B equals 4, comma, find P. Find P. So that is the question. That is the question. How do we solve this problem that is on the board? It is very simple. Now, from the question, we've been given this formula. We have this formula here. We are told that P is equal to 2 bracket L plus B. By the way, dear friends, for calculating the perimeter of a rectangle. Don't worry, we are going to deal with all of this as we are progressing. Make sure you always join the class stay tuned. If you have not subscribed and turn on the notification bell, if you click on subscribe, you'll see that bell icon, that notification bell. Click on it. You will see all, personalized, and something else. That personalized will be ticked for you by YouTube. Please click on all so that anytime we have class, YouTube will quickly notify you and you can connect. This channel is dedicated to our basic scholars. Although people in higher class can also learn, and even in university, they can learn a lot from this channel. Why I always say this, that it is dedicated to those in basic level, is that on this channel, GMAETS41 basic class, I take my time step by step without rushing, without talking too much like fast, to show you how these things are being done so that you can understand them very well and be excellent and, in fact, best in your class. In our channel for higher classes, those in senior class, university students, they know what they used to see there, okay? So this channel, gradually, we explain all these concepts in maths and sciences for you. So always stay tuned. This is the formula given to us. From the question, we are told that L is equal to 3 and B is equal to 4. So we can substitute for L and B in this formula. We are looking for P. We don't know P. That's what we are looking for. In fact, as I do not know P, let me put question mark. Yes, that is the unknown. That is what I am looking for. So now, let us substitute. Substitute into the formula. Are you getting? Into the formula. So to do substitution, what I am going to do is to write my P. I don't know the P. The value I don't know, that's what I'm looking for. So you bring down P like that. After P, you have equal to. After equal to, you have to write that number exactly. In a formula or in an expression, if you see a number, numbers are called constant. They remain like that, they don't change. So write the number like that. After the 2, you have brackets, open your brackets, L. We can now substitute for this L. Now from the question, we are told that L is equal to 3. 3 is the number representing L. So in the formula, in place of L, I will replace it with 3. I will substitute 3 for L. I will remove this L and put 3 there. So here I'm going to have 3 plus, fact, let me use this blue shade of marker. 3 plus, this B is 4. So you replace that B in the formula with 4. Put 4 for B. That is substitution. Then you close. This is interesting. You see how step by step I did my substitution. I replaced the alphabet here, the symbols L and B. I replaced them with their values, with the numbers representing them. That is what we call substitution. Once you have done your substitution, if you have good knowledge of simple equation, which I had already taught you, friends, you can play with this. You can play with them. Also, using your knowledge of basic arithmetics and board maths. And on this channel, GMAETS41 basic class channel, I've taught you all these topics. So make sure check through the channel. You would see, in the playlist, you see all those topics there. I've arranged the playlist very well for you, friends, so that you can easily find topics. Okay? So let us move on. This will now become 2 brackets. According to board maths, you are expected to finish everything in the bracket first. Board maths, B comes first, which is bracket. So we are going to solve what is in the bracket first. 3 plus 4. The basic arithmetic there is plus. So 3 plus 4 will give you 7. So you replace this 3 plus 4 with 7 because that is the value of 3 plus 4. What you are seeing here means 2 times 7. 2 bracket 7 means 2 times 7. Therefore, P is equal to 14, because 2 times 7 is going to give you 14. And we have gotten the value of P. Very simple. We have gotten the value of P for this question. Please copy this out. If you have a question, you can ask. Let me go and check the condition. All right, at your end. So I'm going to go look at the camera now because this device has refused to pop up. Ebere, you're welcome. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. All right. Let us go to our second question. Let us go to our second question. I think I'm going to adjust the camera. I'm going to adjust the camera so that we won't wipe question 1 yet. Permit me. Let me adjust the camera. Right, I had to adjust the camera so that we'll pick our second question. So let's see what we have in example 2. Example 2. In example 2, we have this question. If a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and a equals 3, while b equals 4, find the value of c. Find the value of c. This question we are going to solve. This question we are going to solve. We will be needing the knowledge of squares and square roots. But let us see how far we can do that. I've not taught squares and square roots, but I'm going to solve this question and then we explain how you handle an unknown that has a square on it. It's very simple, nothing is there. Good knowledge of multiplication is okay to be able to solve such problem. And good enough, I've taught you friends multiplication. The complete video lesson on multiplication is available on this channel. The network seems to be disturbing. Network seems to be disturbing. Yes, so this device is trying to pop up, but then it's hanging somehow. I hope it's not network that has stalled us. All right, let's see how we solve this question. Solution. The formula given to us is a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. What we now have to do is to substitute. From the question, we're given the value of a. So I'm going to write that a is equal to 3, it was given. B is equal to 4, it was given. And we're asked to find c. We do not know c. So I am going to substitute at this point now. I am going to replace the symbols in this formula with their values given to us. That is called substitution. Now, I'll come to this A. The value of A is 3. The value of A is 3. So in place of A, I'm going to fix this 3. So you watch. This A, I'll fix 3. But you would see clearly that this A here is raised to power 2. And I've told you, if you have numbers in a formula, you have to evaluate something and you have number in it, that number will remain there. It will remain there. It is only alphabets that you will replace the values given to you for them. So this A squared, A is 3. Since A is squared, the 3 will also be squared. So you write it as 3 squared. Then after that, you have plus. So you follow that formula like that. Write your plus. After that, you see B. And what is your B from the question? B is 4. So in place of B, you are going to replace it with 4. Substitute 4 for this B. So you have 4. Now look at this B has squared there. So the 4 will be squared. Power 2. You have to write the numbers you have there exactly. These are numbers. They are not symbols. So you must write them when you are doing your substitution. I think the device has finally popped up. You can see. So I used to track what is happening to be sure that network is not interrupting. Okay. So it's up now. I guess we can be moving on. After this B squared, which is 4 squared, you have equal to. So you fix your equal to there. And then you now have C squared. But you don't know the value of C. That's what you're looking for. So you're going to write C. Now, what are you going to do? I have done the substitution. It is now to simplify whatever we have there. This is 3 squared. 3 squared means 3 in 2 places multiplied. Let me show you. 3 squared is the same as 3. 3. Then between them you have times. Yeah, that's the meaning of 3 squared. That's the meaning of what? 3 squared. So take note of that. Sometimes some scholars make this mistake. If they see 3 squared, they will go write it as 3 times 2. Please, this is wrong. This is not 3 squared. It's wrong. So this 3 times 2 is not the meaning of 3 squared. Please take it. 3 squared means 3 in 2 places, and then you are multiplying them. 3, 3, you multiply. If it is 3 raised to power 3, it will be 3, 3, and another 3. 3 in 3 places, you multiply them. If it is 3 raised to power, anyway, let's move on. I think you understand what I'm talking about now. So 3 raised to power 2 is 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. So in place of this 3 square, I'm going to write 9. After that, you have your plus. After that, you have your plus. Then 4 square is 4 times 4. 4 in 2 places, you're multiplying them. And 4 times 4 is 16. Make it equal to C square, because you don't know what your C is. We are still simplifying. Here, we are going to finish everything with this number and get a single number for it. Make it equal to C squared, and then find the value of C alone. Remember, this is C squared. We are going to find the value of C alone. 9 plus 16 is 25. 9 plus 16 is 25. So 9 plus 16, 25. You write your 25. That 25 replaces this 9 plus 16. You see, after 9 plus 16, what you see is equal to, so you write equal to C squared. Good. At this point, what do we now do? Look at the question. What we are looking for is the value of C, not C squared. Take note. We are looking for the value of C, not C squared. Therefore, we must find a way to remove this square. And how do you remove square from an unknown? If I'm looking for something, an unknown, and it is carrying square, you take square roots. In mathematics, you are told you take square roots. Square root will remove square. Are you getting me right? And this is the symbol of square root. So let me write it first. Take square root of both sides. Take square root of both sides. Square root of both sides. Good. You know, in simple equation, I taught you collection of like terms, cross multiplication, dividing by the coefficient of the unknown. That is dividing both sides by the coefficient of the unknown. Yeah, these are basic simple equation principles. As you move on, there are other things in maths you do whenever you are looking for an unknown. Anytime an unknown has a square, to remove the square, you take square root. And this is how you take the square root. Come to 25, the left-hand side. This is the symbol of square root. So it's going to be square root of 25 equal to, you come here, that's c squared, take the square root. So you put square root of c squared. Now, the square root will cancel this square. That is what square roots do to square. Take note, an unknown has square. If you want to remove that square, you take what? Square root. The same way, let me tell you something. If I am looking for an unknown, and the unknown has square roots, the unknown has what? Square roots. For example, I have something like this, square root of x. And I am looking for x, but it has square roots. What will you do? Do the opposite, which is take square. Square it to remove that square root. So that is how squares and square roots play. That is how they play. To remove square, take square root of that thing that has square. And then if the unknown has square roots, to remove that square root, take square. So now that I have taught you how to remove square, you have also known how to remove square roots, is to do the opposite. Okay, now having said that, this square root will cancel this square. That is what square roots do to an unknown. That's what square root does to an unknown, okay? So we move on. I will come to this and ask myself, square root of 25 is what? Square root of 25 is what? Now, this is how you will get the answer. And that is why I told you, friends, that your knowledge of multiplication table is very important. In fact, different educators can say something, or teachers can say something about multiplication. Yes, there are different ways you learn it, and this and that. But the truth remains that one of the best and most important way that a scholar should know or learn multiplication is by memorizing that table. At least from 2 times table to 9 times table. I have always said this, I keep singing it. When you have learned it, when you have memorized it, that is why God gave us that wisdom to store information. Now, applications of multiplication will become simple. There, a teacher can now easily teach you different ways that you can apply multiplication. That is it. So please, make sure that you learn your multiplication table very well. I am saying this because even at university level, we still see scholars that have problems, challenges with this multiplication table, and it is affecting their performance. I don't want that to happen to you, dear friends. Please, you have the opportunity now, learn it. 2 times to 9 times table is not too much for you. We learned it, we practiced it, yes, and today we can say it offhand because we know it at heart. You too can do the same, and this is the boat that you use to cross the mathematics sea. Yes, multiplication is the boat that you need to cross the mathematics sea. Now let us come back to the square root of 25. How do we get it? I'll quickly go to multiplication table and ask myself, which number will I multiply by itself to give me 25? In 2 times table, if you multiply 2 times 2, can you get 25? No. 3 times table, if you multiply 3 times 3, can you get 25? No. 4 times table, if you do 4 times 4, can you get 25? No. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, go to 5 times table. 5 times 5, can you get 25? Yes. Yes. So, since 5 times 5 will give you 25, square root of 25 will come back to 5. This is the reason. 5 times 5. Why will I show you that? Let me show you here. 5 times 5 is the same as 5 in 2 places. So the 2, you write it on top, 5 squared. 5 times 5 is the same as 5 in 2 places, 5 squared. Look at it. So do you see? This 5 squared is 25 now. But if I write it as 5 squared, I told you something. To remove square, what do? Take square roots. And to remove square root, what do? Take square. Now this is 25, written as 5 raised to power 2. It has square. If I want to remove this square, what will I do? I will take square root. If you take square root of 5 square, I'm just trying to show you something. If you take square root of 5 square, I told you that square will cancel square root, will cancel square, or square will cancel square root, either ways. You will now be left with 5. Remember, I got this answer from 25 by taking the square root, because 5 square is 25. And square root of 25 is showing me that I would have only 5 left. That is how I got to know quickly that square root of 25 will give you 5. Just know your multiplication table at heart. Yes, learn it. Learn it. There are no two ways about it. So this will be 5 equal to C. We are done. Therefore, the value of C is equal to 5. The value of C is equal to 5. Yes, I know that application, or knowing how multiplication is applied, is very important. But when it comes to a scholar, especially in basic level, trying to learn multiplication, the best way is to memorize it from the table. Yes. And like I always say, 2 to 9 times table is okay. From that, it will develop your knowledge. I'm telling you the truth. You see multiplication and division. Multiplication, basically division, addition, and subtraction. They are brain developers. But multiplication is the most important. So once you learn it, other ways you apply it, or other tricky things you can do to get multiplication, you can now start doing all of those. But to be fast in solving problem, please have that thing in your memory. Your teacher now, GMAETS41, I have it in my memory. How did I learn it? I practiced them and memorized the table. Now I can play with multiplication, any method I want, any trick I want to form with it, I can do it now. All right, friends, that is good. We are done with this question. Let us take our last question, please, under substitution. Let's take our last question. So, do you see that with this, you can solve questions on Pythagoras theorem, Pythagoras rule? Some of you in basic level now, in grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, you are dealing with something on triangle. And once you are taught triangle, you must learn right angle triangle. Pythagoras rule must be taught. You must learn it. So you see now that I've shown you something about Pythagoras theorem. But one thing is, you don't just jump from one topic to another topic anyhow. It's one of the problems we are experiencing through our school system. There is a way we are meant to learn, how we couple those topics, we link them so that students can follow up. If someone does not know how to do substitution, they don't understand substitution, and you don't know how to handle simple equation, if they are teaching you Pythagoras rule in triangle, it will be difficult to understand what is being done there. And if they give you assignments, you might not be able to solve it. So you see, simple equation and substitution, these are the two key you need, the secret to handle anything you see, in fact, in your math and other science subjects. Let's take our last question, please. I'm going to wipe this part off the board. All right, I'll adjust this, and then we will take our third and last question for our class today. I hope we are learning very well. Example 3. Evaluate x raised to the power 3, y, z all over a raised to the power 2, b raised to the power 2c. Given that x equals 2, y equals 5, z equals 6, z equals 6, a equals 2, b equals 3, and c equals 2. So this is the question that we had. And like I said, that is the last question. Okay, Josephine, thank you. Getting you live. You are welcome to our class. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Ebere, you asked the question, if I were to solve it, p equals 2 bracket 3 plus 4, p equals 2 times 3, and 2 times 3 is 6, then 2 times 4. 2 times 4 will give you 8, and then you add both of them. That is still correct. That is still correct, Ebere. And you see, using the knowledge of what I taught the last class in simple equation, I think I solved a question on expanding of brackets, how to remove bracket. So what you have done, Ebere, from what you solved here, that p equal to 2 bracket 3 plus 4, that you could solve it as, you could have preferred to solve it as 2 times 3, which will give you 6, and then again 2 times 4, which will give you 8. Then you now add 6 and 8, you still get 14. That is still okay. That is still what? Okay. But the best and fastest thing was what I did. Finish up with the bracket. Anything you get, multiply by 2. Please, what I am responding to is based on question number 1, okay? I think I have to adjust the camera again for some things cut off. Some of the write-up cut off. Good. So let us solve this very fast now, okay? We're going to be fast in solving this solution. Now, what they gave to us is a mathematical expression. Yes, this whole thing is an expression, is a mathematical statement. If we solve it, if we evaluate it, simplify it after we substitute, after substituting, and then we simplify it, we'll get an answer. So this whole thing will be equal to a number, equal to something when we fix these values given to us. But what you are seeing here is a mathematical expression. You see, there is nothing like a symbol equal to this, nothing like that. That's why we call it expression. There is no equal to here. Are you getting me right? Okay, so let's go. We have x raised to the power 3, y, z all over a squared, b squared, c. Now I am going to solve it straight, because you have been following what I've been doing. And so this, you don't need to waste time. Let us do our substitution. From the question, we have x. What is the value of x? X is 2. So in place of this x, we're going to fix 2. Look at it, 2. Then this x is raised to the power 3. It is carrying 3, so you write the 3 like that, because 3 is a constant, is a number. It doesn't change. You have to write that number like that. I have told you, if a formula or an expression has a number in it, you don't change that number. You don't replace anything there. It's already a number, so you maintain that number. Okay, we are moving on. Times, there is no plus, there is no minus, there is no divide. Are you getting me right? Therefore, automatically what is there is times. If you have two alphabets written together, the mathematical sign between them is times. Imagine I have xb. In math, this is x times b. Take note of that. Okay, so let us move on. Coming to y is 5. So I'm going to substitute 5. I'll replace y in this expression with 5. After that, you have times z. And what is our z? 6. You can say that. So in place of z, you fix 6. After that, you see all over. So we have all over a squared. What is our a? 2. So in place of a, you are going to substitute, replace it with 2. But take note that this a is raised to power 2. That a has square. So you are going to square what the value of a is. A is 2 from the question. Fix the 2 and then square it. Look at it. After that, you have times b squared. What is our b? B is 3. So replace b in this expression with the 3. Substitute 3 for b. So you're going to have 3, and this 3 is also squared. This b rather is squared. So the 3 that replaces b, because the value of b is 3, you're going to square that 3. Raise that 3 to power 2 also, because b is raised to power 2. Finally, times c. What is our c? C is 2. So I'm going to write 2 here. This is good. All we now have to do is to simplify this. 2 raised to power 3. What does it mean? Is it the same as 2 times 3? No. 2 raised to power 3 means 2, 2, 2 in 3 places. You have 2 here, you have 2 here, you have 2 here, and then you are multiplying the 3 2's. 2 raised to power 3 means 2 times 2 times 2. Look at it. So, we are going to multiply 2 by 2 by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 raised to power 3 is 8. If you mistakenly interpret this as 2 times 3, you will get 6, and that is wrong. So take note, raised to power, very important. Okay? This is equal to 2 raised to power 3 is 8. So this is 5, and this is 6. Then all over, come to this, 2 raised to power 2 is 4, times 3 raised to power 2 is 9, times 2. We can now start reducing. Good. This 4 can divide itself to give you 1, and 4 can reduce 8. Okay, so 4 divide 4, 1. 4 divide this 8, you are going to get 2. You're going to get 2. In multiplication table of 4, 4 can multiply 2 to give you 8. So if 8 is divided by 4, you get 2. Okay, then these 2 will divide these 2. They'll divide. Look at these 2 and these 2, they'll cancel out. 2 divided by 2 give you 1. 1 times anything is that same thing. So this is 1, 1. No need of even putting it if I don't want. 1, 1. Okay, what else can divide? These 6 and 9, they can still reduce. 3 can divide them. 3 is a number that can divide 6 and divide 9. Because in 3 times table you have 9 and you have 6. 3 can divide 6, you get 2. 3 can divide 9, you get 3. Good. So in the denominator, we have 1 times 3 times 1, which is 3. And the numerator, we have 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. So this is going to give us 10 over 3. This is going to give us 10 over 3. So we can conclude, therefore, x raised to power 3, yz, all over a raised to power 2, b squared, and c is equal to 5 times 2 is 10 over 3. But this is improper fraction. So we can still convert to mixed fraction. How many times can 3 go into 10? You go to 3 times table. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. It has passed what you are dividing, 10. So you go for the smaller one. 3 can go into 3, into 10, 3 times, remainder 1. So this is going to be 3 divide 10, 3 whole number, remainder 1, all over that denominator 3. So that is it. I already said good night, and of course, I got to go. All right, I have to go. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow class, we are going to learn more from our maths class. We've got a wonderful topic to look at tomorrow. Do you want to know? Don't worry. It's a topic you're going to love. Make sure you connect with that tomorrow. If you have not subscribed yet, like I said, click the subscription icon, turn on the notification bell. All right? And help GMAETS41 to share the link to our video lessons. At the end of this class, before tomorrow, a copy of this live class will be made available. All right? So tomorrow you can still check back, okay? Tomorrow you can check back to learn more. Bye-bye. Good night.